Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds released on the Nintendo 3DS consoles November of 2013. I would have always tried to play the game, but to me it was always, why play this when I can play Ocarina of Time for the 20th time, or any of the other 3D Zeldas? But in 2022, that all changed. I popped it into my 3DS, and I couldn't put the game down. I went through, finished my first playthrough 100% with 0 deaths. It was an incredible story, with amazing gameplay, a breathtaking version of Hyrule. And this is why A Link Between Worlds is my personal favorite game I played in the year 2022. This video will contain story spoilers for the ending of the game, in which I will post a timestamp and a warning before speaking on said topics. As someone who has grown up with the Zelda franchise, I've always tended to stick towards the 3D games. I'm yet to even go back and finish A Link to the Past, which I plan on doing this year. When I finally sat down and told myself I was going to complete the game 100%, I started and I genuinely couldn't stop. The gameplay was smooth, the remake of Hyrule from A Link to the Past was beautiful and amazing. I found myself wanting to explore every little nook and cranny I could find possible. I even found myself turning my DS volume all the way up and listening for possible Mimais in the area I was in. Of course, there were a couple I had to look up, but most of them I got by myself. I was running around looking for heart pieces, finishing the side quests. The game just constantly filled me with dopamine and a sense of accomplishment, which is something I have and always will love about the Zelda series. Controlling Link in A Link Between Worlds felt amazing in every way possible. It felt smooth to run around, it felt smooth to attack with your sword, it felt smooth to use any of the items possible. The items never felt wrong in any way. There were fantastic, thoughtful puzzles in every dungeon and scattered around Hyrule. Some of them even leaving me to think, how can I do this puzzle? Only to then remember that I could actually merge myself onto the walls and make my way over to a different area to make progress on said puzzle, or even the whole dungeon. Speaking of dungeons, every dungeon was an enjoyable experience, and I never once found myself hating any portion of the journey. Well, we'll talk about minigames in a second. The dungeons in Hyrule and in Lorule were all amazingly designed and filled with enough content to feel satisfied by the time you beat the boss at the end, grabbed your heart container, and made your way out and on to the next. Of course, with a little exploring here and there for a couple Mimais. I won't go into detail about the dungeons, but they are some of the most enjoyable in the series personally for me. The dungeons in this game are the Eastern Palace, the House of Gales, the Tower of Hera, inside Hyrule Castle, the Thieves' Hideout, the Desert Palace, the Dark Palace, the Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Turtle Rock, the Ice Ruins, and my personal favorite dungeon, which is also the final dungeon, Lorule Castle. Now, onto the topic of minigames. I enjoyed every minigame, minus one, which we'll talk about last. My favorite minigame was Treacherous Tower, located where the Tower of Hera is, except it's in Lorule. It's a gauntlet of sorts, where you challenge multiple floors of enemies, eventually making your way to the top and getting tons and tons of rupees, plus a heart piece and certain item upgrades after the final difficulty is finished. A Link Between Worlds does have a variety of minigames, which include the Fortune's Choice, which is a chest opening minigame. There's a chance to get a heart piece from that, or you just get rupees and you keep going until you get the heart piece. The Rupee Rush, which is running around, cutting bushes, and collecting rupees until you get a certain amount. The Hyrule Hotfoot, which is running from point A to point B in-game within a certain amount of allotted time without using the broom to fly from area to area. The Cuckoo Ranch, where you must run around dodging cuckoos until the timer runs out, which is probably my second favorite minigame in the game. I sometimes find myself popping it in and going back just to see how long I can last in the endless mode. And the final minigame we have to discuss is the Octoball Derby, which, oh my god, did I ever struggle with this minigame. It's a baseball type minigame where you need to hit a baseball flying towards Link and attempt to aim the ball to hit pots, Octoroks, and flying birds. This minigame took me like 2 or 3 days to finish because I just kept failing at it, and then I would stop and I would put my DS down for a couple minutes, come back, go do something else in Hyrule or in Lorule, and then eventually go back and try it again. When I finally finished this minigame, I was super happy to never look back, take my heart piece, and move on with my day to enjoy the rest of the game. When I finished the game, I realized that I actually completed it with 0 deaths. I was amazed at this. I could have sworn I had a bad boss fight here and there, but this is a personal accomplishment and something I'll always cherish to know that one of my top 3 Zeldas now was finished without seeing the game over screen once, while I did it 100%. This game blew away any expectations I had going into it, and story spoilers, with the twist of the ending revealing that Ravio was actually Lorule's Link, them coming together, working together, and talking about a simple wish on the Triforce to bring the light back to Lorule, and creating the start to fix any issues Lorule may have. My mind was just blown with this ending. The ending has stuck with me ever since I finished it, and I remember just sitting there in my bed, holding my 3DS, saying, this was such an unexpected twist, and I'm so happy that this is the ending we're getting after this adventure. It was the perfect conclusion to everything that we did in this game, and I don't think there would have been a better ending for this game. If you own a 3DS, and have yet to play this game, I highly recommend you do it. You don't need to 100% it like I did to fully enjoy the game, but if you want to experience everything that A Link Between Worlds has to offer you in this vast journey, it's definitely worth your time to attempt it. But if you don't want to do that, you can just relax, sit back, pop the game in, and enjoy your adventures in Lorule and Hyrule. Take in all the sights, enjoy the dungeons and boss fights, or even take on a minigame or two. I know for a fact I'll be going back to 100% hero mode, and I'll probably end up doing a 3-heart run as well. I definitely want to replay this game a couple of times, maybe run around and notice some things that I didn't see in other playthroughs, and talk to every NPC possible. Just truly enjoy the world that they built for this game. At the end of the day, Zelda means a lot to a vast majority of people. The highs, lows, pride, happiness, and despair in the series have been with us every step of the way. This game includes all of the above in every way possible, and it will not let you down. It doesn't matter if you prefer to play Ocarina of Time, or a darker game like Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess. I think A Link Between Worlds truly does have something for every Zelda fan out there, and it's worth picking up. This has been why The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds was my personal favorite game I played and experienced in 2022. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and comment why. If you disliked this video, please do leave your thoughts below so I can work on these videos and improve along the way. I truly do want to improve these as I start creating more, and it would mean a lot to me if some general, genuine feedback would be left for me to enhance the viewing experience. My name has been Jors, and I'll see you all in the next one.